Today's episode of DRL is brought to you by Hella Cocktail Company. My guests don't just come to DRL for me. They also come for the cocktails. Luckily, my friends at Hella Cocktail Company have my back. These guys make amazing mixes, from Bloody Mary to Margarita to Moscow Mule. They also make cocktail bitters, my secret ingredient, and now yours too. It's easy to feel like the best bartender in town when every bottle comes with a simple recipe on it. Hella Cocktail Company, bold flavor, real ingredients, hospitality. Mixing it up since 2011. Shop the collection on Amazon Prime or use code DRL online at hellacocktail.co for free shipping. Hello, my lovely listeners. Welcome back to another episode of DRL, where we're talking everything dating, relationships, and love. I'm your host, Tennesha Wood. So yesterday I got out the shower, and as soon as I got out the shower, Chris was like, yo, son, your raps is whack, and blah, 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 blah. And he starts going on and just like does a freestyle and completely disses me. And then this went on for about 6 hours of us just going back and forth and doing freestyle rap battles. And ultimately he won, and it's his birthday today. So I conceded and I let him win. I mean, low key, let's be real. I could have won if I wanted to, but you know, sometimes you just got to stroke a man's ego, I guess. I hope y'all are doing good today. Today I have Gigi with me.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I love your name because your full name is Giovanni.
Giavanna. Mm-hmm.
Giovanna. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Thank you. It took me a long time to like really become in tune and like my name, because it's such a different name.
Yeah.
And like I have to tell people like 5 times what my name is before they get it right. So like a lot of times I'm like, oh, just call me Gigi.
Did your parents or pick that for any particular reason?
My mom, she liked the poet Nikki Giovanni.
Yep.
And she loved the name Giovanni, but when she looked it up, she realized it's a boy's name. So she just got creative and turned into Giavanna.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
So how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I am, I just got back from Brazil a couple of days ago.
Nice.
So I'm still a little jet lagged, but I'm good overall. Yeah, I have to go back to work tomorrow, so I'm kind of bummed about that.
How are the men in Brazil?
The men in Brazil are so fine. Oh my goodness, they're gorgeous. And someone just told me too, like the men go to Brazil to get like
prostitutes.
Yes. There, and then they also go there to like get done, like they get work done, like how women go to DR for like booty jobs or like boob jobs. The men go there to get like flawless skin and to get, I guess, like some type of like muscle surgery. I don't know what it is, but they go there to get like their whole physique done. And they are gorgeous. And they're very nice.
Now, every time a man tells me he's going, I'm going to look him up and down like, are you getting something done, or are you getting a prostitute or something? What are you doing down there?
Right. Like he's going to come back like completely just like flawless.
You didn't have abs when you left?
Yeah. Definitely some gorgeous people in Brazil. The women and the men.
Nice. Yeah. I have to make a trip there.
Definitely.
So funny story. Gigi and I went on a date with the same guy. We messing with the same guy. Same guy.
The boy is mine.
You need to give it. Oh my God, I've always wanted to sing that with somebody in real life.
Yes, and actually it happened like, but actually like, and you can have them. No,
it's fine. It's yours.
Like the complete opposite of the song.
We both came to the conclusion that he was a nice guy, just not for either one of us.
Right.
So
that's okay.
And that is okay. It's 100% okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last date you went on?
Ooh. Oh, okay. The last date I went on was a couple of weeks ago. I went out with a guy that I met through a mutual friend. The crazy thing is that like we've always message each other on Instagram, like always comment on each other's photos or our stories. And then just recently he gave me his phone number. And so we've been talking for about 2 months. And then we finally went on a date a few weeks ago. And very cute, very handsome guy. He's a cop.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know why that instantly turned me on. I pictured like there was a whole handcuff scene. As soon as you said it, I was like, so then there's a handcuff scene.
Yes.
And then he comes in and he says, you're under arrest.
Right.
You have the right to an attorney.
Get on your knees. Oh my goodness. You know, I love a man in uniform.
So how was the date?
The date went very well. What I thought went very well. We went to a place uptown in the Heights. And we had dinner there. We had a couple of drinks, and then we came back downtown, had a couple more drinks. And then, you know, he dropped me back at home and he went home. But the crazy thing is that I didn't hear from him for like 2 days. He literally just went ghost on me. And like for those 2 days, I was just like driving myself crazy. I was trying to figure out what happened. I'm like, was there something in my teeth? You know, was it like...
Was it the spinach that just turned him off?
I was like, what was it? I was like, did I drink a little too much? You know, we both were drinking, but I was like, you know, was it that? Was it the fact I have cats? So I was like, was he turned off by the cats? Was his cat here on the couch that he didn't like? I don't know. I was just going nuts. I was going crazy. And so I didn't hear from him for like 2 days. And this is somebody that was texting me, good morning, how are you, text like every day. And then he went ghost on me. And then after those 2 days, he texted me like, hey, how are you? Like nothing happened. And I was so pissed.
After you'd repeatedly text him?
After I repeatedly texted him. No. And I told him even after the day after he dropped me back at home, I was like, hey, I had a great date. You know, I had fun. I can't wait for us to go on another date. And nothing. Silence. Nothing. And so like...
I need a tragedy at this point. I need something to have happened. You can't just come back like nothing happened. That's not how this works.
I was like, I need you to have your foot cut
I didn't
off.
want a tragedy for anybody. I'm just saying.
Right.
I need something better than just, hey.
Kidnapped.
Yeah.
Like, and then, you know, somebody saved you. But nothing. And I talked to like one of my guy friends about it, and he's just like, he's just not feeling you. And I was like, oh, okay.
For 2019... Can we stop ghosting? Like, just as a society, can we decide that it's wrong? Like, you know, we've decided certain things as a society. Like, there's certain words that we don't use. There's certain phrases that we don't use because we're like, that's rude and it's wrong and it makes people feel a certain way. Let's not do it. For 2019, can that thing be ghosting where we're just like, it's really rude to just not contact somebody? It's just not do it anymore.
Exactly. Let's just... it's even more rude for you to ghost and then come back.
Yeah, if you're gonna ghost, just go. Don't let me see your face around here ever again. Like ever.
Right. Like I don't want to not hear from you and then hear from you like there's nothing, like nothing ever happened. Like you don't know, like that's so annoying. That's so frustrating. Especially if you're the one that's like reaching out and you're not getting any reply back, you're not getting the same energy back. And then you want to come back like nothing happened. That's so rude.
Did you reply?
I replied just to like be nice. Of course, I waited like 10 hours.
You should have waited 2 days at least.
I probably should have, or I should have just ghosted him completely. Made him give him a taste of his own medicine.
So what did you reply?
I just replied, I'm good. You know, just like a simple conversation, very one-worded answers, and the energy or the conversation just kind of faded out, and we don't talk anymore at all. So that was the end of that. And once my friend told me, like, yeah, he's just not feeling you, I kind of got the message.
I almost think you should have put him on the spot and been like, I'm sorry, I haven't heard from you. Why?
Yeah. I should have. I just keep...
We have to expose ghosting.
We do.
That's the thing. Like, you do have to put people on the spot.
Yeah.
Because it's rude.
It is.
Like, forget whether it was a good date or a bad date or whether he was feeling you or not feeling you. It's just rude.
I agree.
To not get back to somebody who was respectful to you know what I'm saying? Like unless you just did something crazy and disrespectful, there's no reason that he couldn't have sent a text and said, yeah, you know, you weren't necessarily my type, or like, you know, there's other things that I got going on, or whatever the case may be. But like, can we just please, this is a PSA, let's please stop ghosting in 2019.
Exactly. Just, you don't even have to give me the truth. Like, just explain, like, you know what, I'm not really feeling this, or, you know, I'd rather us be friends. Just, I don't need a whole story. Just let me know. You know, I don't think it's right for one person to be on think one thing and the other person the other thing, and, you know, you guys are trying to connect. It's just not it's not fair.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, unless I did something completely like obviously disrespectful, like if I was just like calling you out your name or calling you out your mom's name, your mama's name.
Your mama is.
Yeah. Then I could see why you would ghost me. But, you know, it's rude to ghost, and it's rude to ghost and come back.
Yeah.
Like you didn't ghost.
I used to be a ghoster, and the reasons that I did it were simply like I didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings.
Yeah.
But now I realize you hurt somebody's feelings more when you leave them in limbo.
Yep.
And they have no idea what's going on. They don't know what to think. They don't know where you're at. And in some cases, they're like, "Are you even alive?"
Yeah.
I remember one time I went out with this guy. We're friends now, actually. He's engaged now.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations. You know who you are.
Congratulations.
And we went out like 3 times, and I just felt like I felt smothered. Like I felt like he was just being too much, and it's just mentally that's not where I was at. And so he kept calling me and texting me, and he'd be like, "Oh, I really like you. I had a great time." And nothing wrong with what he was doing. It wasn't
Right.
It wasn't over the top, I guess, in his mind, but I was just like, "Oh, I can't do this."
Yeah.
And I just didn't answer my phone. And to the point where he literally found me on Facebook and was like, "I just want to make sure you're okay."
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. He sincerely was worried about you.
Like, sincerely, this was so weird and random that you did this, that like, I can't see somebody doing that I think there might be something actually wrong with you.
Right. And there was no warning. There was no
exactly.
Like, hey, you know, I'm going so-and-so. You won't hear from me.
Right.
Or whatever.
And I like, when I saw that, I was like, damn, I feel really bad.
Yeah.
I feel really bad. And I think I replied like, "I'm okay." And then that was, and then I think after that he left it alone.
Okay.
But yeah, so let's not do
that's all he wanted.
Let's not do that to people.
Yeah.
Years later though, we did go out again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then we decided, like, we really were just like, yeah, we're good as friends.
That's good that you guys came to an agreement.
Yeah.
Like,
and now he's getting married.
Oh,
no,
okay.
good dude.
Yeah,
good dude.
see?
Good dude.
And you know, that's okay if things don't work out. You know, I think a lot of people are scared, like you said, are scared of hurting other people's feelings. And it's okay. Like, everyone's not going to be for you. That's the whole point of dating. That's the fun in dating, is that you get to try out different things. And
exactly.
Some things are not going to work. Some things will. But you have to be, you know, be a human being and know that, you know, just like that guy, he was like genuinely worried about you.
And I think everybody is at the point now where they can handle a rejection. Like, if you're over 25, you can handle somebody saying, "This just isn't for me."
Right.
And if you can't, stop dating.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's the whole point of dating. You're not just have your heart set out or your mind set out on one person. So if somebody you don't like or someone that doesn't like you, you have your other options.
Exactly.
You know, so that's
like, until we're married, we're not married. Dating is not a marriage.
Exactly. You know, and who's to say that, you know, you're supposed to end up with them? It's okay.
So you just turned 30.
Yes.
This year, or last year rather. How was that? What was the 20 to 30 transition for you like?
It was definitely very nerve-wracking. I actually went to Thailand to celebrate my 30th. Only because I've always wanted to go there, and I'm like infatuated with elephants. So I was like, "Oh,
I love elephants. Do you see my elephant?"
Oh yeah. Oh,
so I told you I'm allergic to every animal, but I like elephants. I like giraffes. Like I'm big on safari type.
Yes, yes. You can still be allergic and still love your animals. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, but turning 30 definitely was an experience. I remember when I was in Thailand. And, you know, we're a couple hours ahead. But I remember when the clock struck 12, my whole entire heart just dropped because I was just like, oh, my God. I literally felt like I had an out-of-body experience. Like, I just felt like everything just changed right there. I don't know why. And I know it's probably, like, very cliche when people say, oh, when you turn 30, there's, like, a click. It kind of was like a click for me. You know, I still felt young. I still felt like I was, you know, still in those last few moments of 29, but I felt like I was just coming into like a new experience. And you kind of are, you know, when you turn 30, it's like a whole nother decade for you to just kind of restart your life.
Yeah.
And the first few weeks, I was still doing like the same things I was normally doing when I was like 29, 28, still going out and this and that. And then after like the first 2 months, I started like really paying a lot of attention to like my finances, how I work, how I perform at work, you know, the type of friends that I'm around. And I really started to like mature. And so it's definitely been, definitely been a 180s from turning 29 to 30. I'm excited.
So what did you change from being 29 to being 30? Like you mentioned, maybe your friends or the circle you're around. Like, did you reevaluate and drop certain people?
I didn't drop certain people, but I kind of separated myself from certain people. So there are people in my life, and they're still in my life, that, you know, you have your certain friends that are good for a night out. And then you have your certain friends that are good for, that are motivational, that push you to become better. And then you have your certain friends that inspire you to get something that they have. So I kind of took some of my friends and kind of put them in those little bubbles. And I separated them like that. So now, you know,
because not every friend is for everything.
Exactly. Not every friend is for everything. And some friends, and that's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
There's nothing wrong with that, you know. So whenever I want to have fun, I want to have a good night out, I hang out with, you know, these friends. And if I want to be productive, or if I want some motivation or inspiration for something, then I will contact these friends. So I definitely now am very selective, I guess you can say, about the people that I hang out with. And so that definitely has changed. Before I used to just go and not worry about, you know, how I was going to pay for this, or go on trips, or go out, spend my money here. Now I really think about that, because I have to think about my future.
You're like, retirement.
Right, retirement. And also, too, I'm more interested in, like, traveling and doing, you know, different experience than going to the club.
Right.
And, you know, staying out to 3 a.m. You know, those things are fun, but they're not on my priority.
They're not moving you forward.
They're not moving me forward. Exactly. They're not making me a better person, you know, like I thought they would when I was in my 20s.
I liked your point about friends, because I think we tend to get upset when we're like, well, such and such wasn't there for me when I was doing X, Y, and Z. I started this new business and, you know, she didn't even come to my launch, or whatever it may be. But certain friends are for certain things. So if this was your club buddy every day for the last 5 years, that's her role. Right. And that's okay as her role. But you can't expect somebody then to be your catch-all for everything. Like, well, if you're my friend, you're supposed to be my friend for everything. You're supposed to be there when I'm crying. You're supposed to be there to help me on my business. You're supposed to help me. Like, it's not, that's not how friendship actually works. And I think you're right. Like 29 to 30, or just in your 30s, is when you start to realize, like, there are certain people that I can go to for certain things, but I can't go to everybody for everything and be mad when people don't deliver on everything. Like, we can't be everything to everybody, and that's just life.
And that's just life. And the same thing goes for us. Like, I'm sure, you know, I'm one person to somebody else. I'm a type of friend to someone else, and then I'm not a friend for this person, you know, and that's okay. So that's just how it is. And there's one thing, like, my mom told me that always sticks with me. She told me when I was younger, she's like, don't expect people to treat you like how you treat them. So if you go out of your way for your friends, don't expect them to go out of their way for you, because you will always be disappointed, you know? And she's like, that's just how it is. That's just how life is. So if you expect your friends to always be there for you, or always support you, you know, no matter what, that's not, and then one day they can't, or one day they're just not. Don't get disappointed. Don't think that, you know, they don't care about you. That's just how it is. That's just life, you know. So don't expect so much from your friends, or just one person. You know, just be yourself.
Well, expectations is ultimately what always kills relationships and friendships, because it's I expected you to do X, Y, and Z. You didn't do X, Y, and Z, and now I can't live with the fact that you didn't do X, Y, and Z. Whereas if you just went into it like, you are who you are, and now you have to have your standards. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm in no way suggesting just let people do whatever, whenever. Like, it's not like that. But
be wild and free,
right? Like you then will set people in a certain plane in your life, right? So, yeah, you might not be my best friend because you can't be there for me when I need you. But that doesn't mean you can't exist in my life if you are really just like when I want to go out and have a good time and have drinks friend. Like, there's still a place for you in that. It doesn't mean you need to not exist in my life because you can't provide the daily support that I need.
Exactly. And it doesn't make them a bad person either.
It doesn't.
You know, so you have them for this, you have your friends for this, and then you have your other amount of friends for this. And that's the beauty of friendship. You know, you can share different experiences with different people. So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's probably like a really big realization.
So how did 29 to 30 change dating for you?
Oh, wow. So when I was 29, I kind of like put this imaginary bucket list in my head because I was like, oh my God, no one's going to want to date me when I'm 30. I'm going to be old. And I feel like every 20
I'm going to get all these wrinkles and I'm going to get a hump in my back and I'm going to walk slower. No one's going to want me.
No one's going to want me. I'm going to gain weight. I'm going to have all this gray hair in front of my head. I was like, when I was like 29, 28, 27, every time I heard 30 or 30 something, I was just like, oh, that's so old. So when I was 29,
welcome to the club.
I know. When I was 29, I was just like, oh, I got to get everything done. I got to date all these guys. I got to, go to all these clubs. I have to meet all these people. And I didn't get that chance. I don't know why. I did go out, but I didn't really meet that many guys. I was online. Still didn't meet many guys. So, but when I turned 30, I went on probably like 3 times the amount of dates. I don't know what it was.
You felt like the deadline was coming close.
I guess once the deadline hit, I just kind of stopped trying. And when I stopped trying looking for people, that's when people started popping up.
Exactly.
None of the guys had an issue that I was 30. A lot of them were older anyway. And so they didn't have a problem with that. And I just got more. I don't know. I got more and more dates. I don't know. Maybe it was a 30-year-old glow.
What was on your imaginary bucket list before then?
Oh my God, it's probably so bad. I was like, I have to have a one-night stand. I was like, I have to. The body count.
I call that a homant.
A homant?
A homant is where you're a hoe for a moment, but you're not a hoe. Because if it's for more than a moment, then you're a hoe.
Yes.
But if it's just a moment, then it's just a homant.
Yes, you go through a homant. It's very similar to what Issa went through on Insecure. She had the hotation line.
Yes.
That was my goal before 30. I was like, I need to have a hotation. And I did not. But I had a hotation at 30, though.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I did.
Now I need to hear about the hotation. What happened?
So I had a good number of guys when I turned 30. And I was just meeting guys just everywhere. I was meeting them at the club. I wasn't online, oddly enough, but I was meeting them at the club. I went on a speed dating thing, and I actually met one of the guy that we dated together. I actually met him there.
That's funny.
At the speed dating. And he wasn't part of the speed dating. He was just there because his friend DJ'd for the event.
Oh, gotcha.
And so he just came through, and I met him there. I met people through mutual friends. I met people at events. And so I started just like talking, just like pretty much any guy, not any guy, but any guy that I could see myself with. I got their contact information.
You were open.
I was open. Yeah. I was very open. Mm-hmm. So, I would just go on dates. And so I went on a date with so-and-so on Monday. I went out on a date with guy X on Tuesday, went out with so-and-so on Friday.
I love that.
Yeah, so I just like, I really did have like a little hotation going. And then like, if a guy would do something that turned me off or something where, we just weren't interested, then they would get dropped from the hotation.
I love it.
And then somebody else would get replaced.
That's what dating is. To get to know a lot of people or however many people you want during a certain period of time to decide who you want to commit to.
Exactly. So that was definitely very fun. And that was my goal for 29, but it didn't happen. So it happened at 30, and it probably was for the best. Definitely was for the best. Because now that I'm 30, I'm not like rushing. 29, I was rushing to get everything done.
The deadline.
30. Yeah, it was definitely a deadline. And now I'm just like, I could take my time now. I can date so-and-so. And I don't feel old.
So did you meet anybody special during that time?
Did I meet anybody special? I met one guy, but that was the one that ghosted on me. I liked him a lot. But other than that, no, I didn't really meet anyone special. I went on a lot of fun dates, though. And I went on dates with guys from, like, one end of the spectrum to the other. I mean, I went on dates with guys who came to my house, opened the door, closed the door, got to the restaurant, opened up the seat, did all, I mean, like, all of that, a complete gentleman, all the way up to the guy that literally just pulled up, where we going, you know, didn't bother paying for anything. I mean, all through the spectrum, I went out on so many dates with different guys. So a lot of them were fun. They all had their pros and cons, but nobody that I was like, oh my God, it's maybe except for that one guy, but none of them where I really could see myself with, like, down the line.
But did that experience of dating all those people help you to better hone in on exactly what you were looking for? Like, at the end of that experience, were you at a place where you were like, okay, I like this, I don't like that, I need this, I don't need that?
Yes.
So what is it?
Definitely.
What is it that you would say you're looking for in a guy, if you had to describe it?
I'm definitely looking for a guy who's a gentleman. You know, I like a guy that will open a door. You know, what is it?
Chivalry.
Chivalry is not dead. It should not be dead. So guys out there are still girls that want you to open their door and pull out their chair and do all the gentleman stuff. So
it's weird because, you know what? Sometimes guys say they don't do that because they're like, well, I feel like, you know, it degrades the woman if I'm doing all this stuff because she could do all this stuff on her own. And I'm like, that's cool. Yeah. But I don't know anybody personally. Like, I have never met in my whole life one woman ever in the history of woman that has ever said, girl, I am just so mad because you know what he did? He opened the door for me and then he pulled out my chair and then he had the nerve to pay for my dinner.
Exactly.
I hate him. I've yet to hear it.
I'm not going on another date with
I
him.
have yet to meet that woman. She does not exist in my circle. I don't know if she exists in the world. Right. Actually, if you're out there and you are such type of woman, I would love to hear from you.
Come on the podcast.
Right. If you really cringe at the thought of a man doing those sorts of things for you, if it makes you feel belittled in any way, I would really want to hear your opinion because I have yet to meet that woman. Right. So when men say that, I just am like, where's this woman that you speak of that cringes at nice things being done? Now, don't be condescending to anybody. Don't, you know, make anybody feel like, you know, I'm doing this for you. But if you're genuinely,
don't make it obvious.
Yeah, if you genuinely just are doing a nice gesture for somebody and in a humble way, I don't know a situation in which that would make them upset.
Right. I don't see what the problem is in opening the door. Like, what is the issue? That's being nice. Right. You know, I can see if you're like, okay, I'm going to open the door for you. Get in the car. Like, right. Okay, now
just so you know I'm paying for this dinner and it's $300. Exactly. So appreciate it. Like, yeah, but
now you're just being rude.
Right.
So, yeah, like, I still appreciate guys who are like that, who do respectful things. I like a guy who is honest. You know, if you are on the date and, you know, you're like, hey, you know, I just want to date, have fun, I'm dating other people. I respect that. I really do. I really respect honesty. Just let me know what's going on and what's up front. I truly appreciate that. And I like a guy that has, I think one of the most things I learned as I've been dating these past few months since 30, I like a guy that has goals and that has some type of ambition. You know, it's okay if you work at McDonald's or you're the manager at Walmart or, you know, you work for GNC.
No,
for now.
No,
now.
Is it okay? Say this. We, as in myself, I do actually say this out loud sometimes, but in reality, do you mean it? So if a guy, now you've been to school, you've got an extra degree, like you have a career. Right. If a guy really was like, so yeah, I work at McDonald's. I don't own the McDonald's. I work at the McDonald's. Right. You know, I
flip the burgers.
I get $12.70 or whatever it is an hour. And, you know, one day I hope to make it to the manager, to be manager, whatever the next level is. Is that really okay with you? Would you actually judge that?
As long as it's temporary. You cannot be like, oh, okay, one day I want to be the manager, but you don't have any type of plan. Like, okay, in 6 months, I want to move up the chain line. Now I want to be in the register, blah, blah, blah. Even though it's not on the same level as a career as me, as long as you're showing some type of movement or some type of
like aspiration.
Yeah, just showing that you're moving forward and that you don't want to stay in the same place. I respect that. Okay. I really do. I definitely respect that. So as long as you have some type of goal, some type of ambition that you want to better yourself, because even me in my career, you know, and my degree, I'm always still trying to better myself and do something bigger than what I'm doing now. I'm never really happy at the spot that I'm at. I always want to do better and do better. So I respect the fact that even if you don't have a career or you're not at the career that you want, you're working towards it.
Right.
You're not just complacent, you know. And a guy that doesn't complain. I went out on a date with a guy. I mean, he had it all. He drove a Beamer. He had the top position at his company. He made 6 figures. You know, he lived his single bachelor life. He was in his early 30s. And all he did pretty much like half through the date was complain about how he hated his job and how he wanted to go someplace different. And so I was just like, okay, well, if you don't like your job so much, why don't you do something about it?
Right.
Like, common sense, why don't you change where you work or find a different job or find something similar in a different place? No, I can't do that. I can't because I'm not going to find anything better.
Was this the first date?
This was the first date. We actually
Sir,
got into
I'm not
an
your
argument.
therapist. I am not your therapist.
I was like, I'm not your mama. I was like, I'm simply trying to help you out. But, you know, if you want to complain, like, common sense, do something about it. Don't sit there and complain.
On the first date, I couldn't.
And we legit had an argument on the first date. Like, he got into like this rut and he had such a bad attitude. And so I literally had to tell him on the date, and I've never done this before, because usually when I'm uncomfortable or if I don't like someone, I'll just kind of be quiet until the date is over. And I had to tell him, I said, listen, I don't know where your attitude is coming from. I was like, but it's not cool. And he's just like, no, I don't have an attitude. I'm just tired of you asking me the same question, da da da. And I was just
what?
Like,
what were you asking him?
I was just asking him just like about his life. Like, okay, you know, where'd you grow up? Or how did you get interested in what you're doing? You know, why is it that, you know, you're unhappy? Why do you think you can't change where you're at? You know, just simple things like
getting
that.
To know
just
you questions.
Getting
Especially if you're going to sit there and
questions.
complain, I'm going to try to
exactly
to see if there's some things you haven't thought of, because I'm annoyed because you're now complaining on a date with me.
Exactly. It's like there's only so much we could talk about as far as like the food and the drink. So I want to know more about you.
Right.
That's the whole purpose of why we're going on this date. And now you're just complaining. You're saying that I'm asking you too many questions and you have an attitude. And so, like, that was a big, big red flag. And I was like, I definitely don't want to be dating a guy like that. That is, like, so unhappy about where he's at, and he's not doing anything about it. And all he wants to do is complain. That's such a turnoff.
Ugh.
Such a turnoff. He can be the most finest man in the room, and something like that just makes you so ugly.
So he needs to have a good attitude. Mm-hmm. What was the first one? He needed to...
be... the chivalry.
Chivalry. Have a lot of aspiration and have a good attitude.
Have a good attitude.
What
and
else?
Be honest.
Honest?
Yep, be honest. Also, just kind of want the same things I want. Like, I want a family, you know, so I definitely want someone that wants kids. We don't have to get married. I'm not big into marriage.
Which I found interesting. So you really are like, I want a kid for sure.
I definitely want a kid for sure.
But marriage, maybe.
Yeah, marriage, maybe. I'm not like a big supporter of marriage.
What made you start to think that way?
Growing up, you know, I grew up in a single parent household, and then my mom, she did get married. She got married to my stepfather, and that just didn't go well. Mm-hmm. And then the people in my family, some of my family, they're in marriages that they've been in for 30, 40, 50 years, and they're just so unhappy, and they look so miserable, and they're just in it because they have kids or they just want to stay married. And I don't know, I don't want to go through that. I don't want a piece of paper to dignify that I'm committed to a person. Right. You know, and society puts so much pressure on us, especially as we get older. And, you know, we do enter in our 30s and our 40s that we should be married by now and we should have kids by now. And I don't want to follow that norm. I don't want to feel that pressure. I don't want a piece of paper or the state to tell me that, you know, I'm
supposed to be happy now.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be happy now, and that I have a commitment with this one person. That's another thing that's changed for me from my 20s to 30s too.
Because when you were in your 20s, you were like, I have to get married.
Oh yeah. When I was in my 20s, I was like, I have to get married. I have to get married before 30. I have to have a child before, you know, I have to have a child by age 26, 27. And it's definitely not how I think now.
So it's interesting because you told me before the podcast, you have a friend that you were like, well, let's just, if you're not with somebody, I'm not with somebody, let's have a child.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I have a planned baby father.
I like that you didn't say baby daddy. She said it's a baby father.
It's a baby father. You know, we're going to change it. We're going to switch it up a bit. How did that come about? This guy I started dating a few years ago. We met out at the gym, actually. He's a personal trainer. And we just have really, really good chemistry. I like his vibe. He likes my vibe. But we haven't gone past dating because he wants to date other people, and, you know, I'm dating other people. But he doesn't want to have like a girlfriend. He doesn't want to be in a committed relationship. He just got out of one, actually, months before he met me. He was in an 8-year relationship. He was engaged. Dang. You know, he never cheated. He was very faithful and committed to her. And for whatever reason, you know, it just didn't work out. And so he just kind of wants to live his little bachelor life. And so, you know, through the years, all the guys that I've dated, I always kind of come back to him. And he's probably like one of the guys that I respect the most. And out of all those qualifications I listed, he fits a lot of them. He has a lot of goals, aspirations, and dreams. He's very respectful. You know, he has everything that I'm looking for in a guy. You know, he just doesn't want to be committed. If he did want to be committed, would I get into a relationship? I would. Okay. Yeah. Are you listening out there? Whatever your name is. You know who you are. Been dealing with you for years. She's ready if you're ready. I'm ready. He knows. He knows. He's just being a guy. But he knows that I want to have a family, that I want to have kids and, you know, X, Y, and Z. So, you know, I asked him, I said, you know, if you're still around when I'm ready, would you be willing to, you know, to be my baby's father? And, you know, he surprisingly said yes. He wouldn't mind. So you'd be completely okay without the relationship part, just like a co-parenting relationship? Just a co-parenting relationship, yeah. Because we have such a good, and it probably sounds crazy to a lot of people, but we have such a good friendship. And so I know no matter what, whether we end up together or not, we will still be in each other's lives. And he does have a kid with the previous girlfriend. So I know how he is as a father. Right. And he's a very, very good dad. He's very present in his kid's life. He puts his daughter first through a lot. Not through a lot. So I know how he would be as a father, and I know that he would still be there for the kid. You know, so you know, I felt like out of all the guys that I've dated, or, you know, just I've accepted, you know, if I don't find someone by the time I'm ready to have kids, then he would just be probably the best candidate. And so he's okay with that. And, you know, whether he wants to be in the kid's life or not, I'm okay with that too. I would like for him to be there for the kid. But, you know, time will tell. So I mean, I like that you've sort of got this planned out. I have a plan. I need to write it on paper. That's the only thing. We need to write it on paper and sign some documents. But as far as I know, what's come out of his mouth, he's okay with it. He's okay with the idea. He likes the idea. And so we're there. We're at that point. We're at that point now. And so we just got to get it on paper. I like it. Yeah. How old is this guy? He's 37. Okay. So he's ready. He's ready. Yeah. He's does he want more children? He does. He wants more children. He wants to. He's at a point where he's doing his own business, and he's still kind of starting it up. He's been doing his own business now for about almost 2 years. So he's still kind of, you know, getting it started. So he's not fully off the ground yet. So his thing is, you know, I want more kids when I can give him a good lifestyle. Right.
That makes sense.
I can support them the way that I want to support them. You know, so he's doing what he can now, and he's doing the best that he can. I think he's doing a great job.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you. I'm not gonna say no name, but I think you're doing a great job with your daughter. You know, financially and physically, mentally being there. But he definitely.
You really like him.
I do.
You really like him.
I do, and it's so funny you say that because when I'm around him and other people are around us. They tell him all the time, like, man, she really likes you.
Well, you just sort of, you lit up. You really lit up when you were talking about him.
Yeah, like, you could tell the way that, like, even, like, how I look at him, I don't look at anyone else the way I look at him.
So how long has it been since he's been out of that 8-year relationship that he was in?
About a little over 3 years.
Okay, so it's been some time.
It's been some time.
Has he had enough time to do whatever it is he needed to do and explore?
I think he's still going. I think he's still living that bachelor life. You
know? Guys revisit that conversation ever? Where are you at, and do we want to move forward with, you know, something with us?
All the time. And he's always just like, I'm not ready. And I appreciate his honesty, but I'm like, man, dude, how much time do you need?
It's 3 years.
Yeah.
That's kind of I'm not hating on whatever he wants to do. I'm just saying, like,
you've had enough time.
I think that it goes like this. You're not ready sometimes until you meet the right person, and then you are. So I'm not saying anything about him because I don't know the guy, obviously. Right. I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like you're the type that's like, I'm just waiting for you.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm not. And I don't have all my eggs in one basket when it comes to him.
Right. Okay.
Definitely.
Good.
Yeah. I still date while I guess I'm talking to him or I'm dating him, and he still dates too. So I'm not expecting him to come around, especially anytime soon. Like, you know what, Giavanna, I'm just ready to settle down. Out of all the options, I choose you. I don't.
Are you okay if he never does?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. It took me a long time to get there because at one point I was just like, I don't understand. Like, I have everything that he's looking for. And he's always like wants to hang out with me, and he always wants to, you know, go here with me, and we travel together and this and that. But he never says anything about, let's take this further. And, you know, people say, and it's true, when a man wants something, he goes for it.
Yep.
You know,
100%.
100%. And so I know that. And I know that from my experience with dating. I've had guys that's like, listen, I want to be with you. Let's do this. And I'm just like, no.
Right. Because when you know, you know.
When you know, you know. Exactly. So I'm okay with me not being the one, or him just not being ready, or he's just hasn't found that person that he's ready to be with.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. So
okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure
until then. Yeah. Until then, I'm still dating.
Good.
Yes.
I have a game I want to play. So you guys might remember Mike and Megan that came on the show. They created a card game called Actually Curious. I'm going to be asking some of the questions that are in the deck.
Oh, God.
So now I can't remember. There was some colors that were like more personal and some that were more general, and I can't remember which is which. So I'm just going to pick one I like.
Let's ask away.
Let's see. Okay, question 1. Ooh, I like this one. What do you think you could become famous for?
Ooh, I always think about being a veterinarian for famous people, like being like an on-call vet. Like, you know how they have like famous stylists. So there's the famous stylist.
There's the trainers, the stylists. They have a whole team.
Exactly. They have a whole team. So the stylist that does Nicki Minaj's hair, or the stylist that does Beyonce's hair, and they go on and they do.
Who takes care of Beyonce's dog? We don't know.
We don't know.
It should be you.
Exactly. Who takes care of Obama's dogs?
I don't know.
Who is that? Exactly. I'm like, they're just going to, you know, Dr. So-and-so down the street. I would love to be like a famous veterinarian that goes around to all the famous people.
I love that.
Famous people's pets and take care of their animals. So I can be like Obama's veterinarian.
Hey, Sasha, Malia, if you're listening.
Exactly. If Bo starts coughing or has some diarrhea, just let me know. who takes care of Beyonce's dogs, who takes care of, I don't know, Dave Chappelle's dogs if he has a dog, so-and-so's cats. I would love to just kind of travel around the world and just, be like a vet for famous people.
So since you're a vet, by the way, I love that idea and I love that dream and I think it's going to happen.
Oh, thank you.
I'm putting it out there.
Let's put it out there.
Universe.
2019. Let's do that.
Does anybody ever have a problem with you having animals? Because you have cats.
Yes.
Do people ever have a problem with it, or does it come up in dating?
It definitely does, because once I tell people, and I don't tell everybody. I'm very selective who I tell I'm a vet.
Yo, why do you say it like you're a stripper? I don't tell everybody because not everybody can handle what I do.
I can't, because in the morning
by day I deal with animals.
Right. At night I'm a little secretive. Like, no. I have to be very selective, because then people start, once I tell people I'm a vet, they're like, oh, my cousin got a cat and she's been throwing up for about 5 days. And so now the date turns into a consult. And I'm like, I'm not at work. I don't want to be at work right now. And you're getting this for free.
I don't care about your cat right now. Let's get to know each other.
Well, then your cousin needs to take your cat to the vet.
That's what you should say. Yes. Well, it sounds like they really need to go to a vet. Yes. Anyway, are you enjoying this salmon?
Exactly. So tell me about your dreams. It's like, I don't want to sit here and talk about work. I don't want to sit here and talk about your cat. I don't want to sit here and talk about your dying dog. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I'm sorry about what's going on, but I just don't want to. So I'm very selective about who I tell. Some people I tell them I'm a receptionist. So I'm like, don't ask me any questions. But yes, I do get judged for having cats, and I kind of understand why.
You just have two.
I just have two.
Okay, I just want to make that
right, gentlemen. I just have two. I don't have any dogs right now because my schedule cannot allow for it. It's very hard for me to get home every night at a reasonable time to let the dog out. So cats are what I can do right now. But yeah, I do get a lot of judgment, like, oh, you're the cat lady, which I don't think I am. A lot of guys hate that, the fur gets everywhere. That's what vacuums are for. The cats are cats. They're going to get on top of the couch. They're going to get on top of the bed. I don't allow my cats to get on the table, but I'm sure when I'm not at home, they're all over the table and they're all over the counter. So a lot of guys don't like that. They don't like that there is a animal in the house, that there's fur in the house, that there's dander, Some guys, I don't know if it's true, but they're like, oh, I have allergies. Oh, I'm sorry. Then you can't come to my house. Take a Benadryl. But I'm like, I'm not getting rid of my cats. And I'm like, I'm a vet. Like, if anyone should have an animal, it should be an animal doctor. Like, of course I'm going to have pets. As long as I can take care of them. Like, right. I'm going to have pets.
What made you want to become a vet?
Growing up, the classic line that almost every veterinary has, I love animals, but I love helping people. I love helping people help their animals. I feel like when a person has a pet and the pet is sick or the pet has a problem, and a lot of people are kind of clueless or they're helpless. They don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And it feels so good to be able to figure out what's going on. And not only are you making the pet happy, but you're making the person happy. Right. So it's kind of like a win-win. So, my true passion is to be able to help people help their animals.
I have to ask you this. So we did a listener question episode on season 2. Mm-hmm. And one of the questions I remember was this girl was upset because the guy that she was dating was obsessed with his dog and the dog was sleeping in the bed. And she was just like, their entire life seemed to be planned around the dog. Like, it was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't go out with you today because I have to feed my dog or I have to take my dog out. And she was just like, bro, like I don't come second to a dog. Do you ever encounter that, or are you that? Like, I know you have cats, and cats are a little bit less maintenance than a dog, but would a guy maybe come second to that, where it's like, if you met a guy, let's ask this. If you met a guy and he was just like, I'm super allergic to cats. Like, I can't even be around them in this space. And things became serious where it's like, well, let's move in together. Mm-hmm. Do the cats stay or does he go?
Ooh, that's a tough one. If I was really serious about this guy and I really liked him, I would choose him over the cats. I love my cats. They've been there before any other guy's been there, and they're still there. I feel like even as a veterinarian, even as a pet owner, humans still come first.
Okay, good.
You know, so I definitely know a lot of people who are obsessed with their animals, and I have no judgment. You know, if you want your dog to be, you know, attached to you 24/7, then that is a life that you can live. That is your choice. But me, I'm not like that. I love my cats. Yes, my cats sleep in the bed with me. And, you know, I buy them little cute outfits. And
Wait, you buy your cat's outfits?
I buy my cat's outfits. They wear an outfit for Christmas. They wear an outfit for Halloween. You know, they have little bowls on their collars. So they definitely are spoiled. They eat the best food. But if
my cats only eat organic. Your cats only eat organic,
they
right?
do not. No, they do not. But they eat good. They don't eat the bodega cat food. You know, I have to actually go out to the pet store and get them the good stuff. But they do. If I am in a relationship with somebody and I'm serious and we want to move forward as far as moving in or, you know, having a child, and the cats suddenly become a problem or they are a problem, then, you know, I would do my best to try to see if I can keep the cats. But if I can't keep them, if it's really, you know, but is it going to be me or the cats? You know, I'm gonna obviously choose the guy. Like,
right. Because I have the perfect guy for you, but he's allergic to cats. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, gosh. I'm like, no, not so soon.
I didn't want to get rid of them now.
Yeah,
No.
I was like, wait. Let me enjoy him for another few years.
So you also have like an in-home veterinary business?
Yes, I'm starting one up. It's called Petty Vetty.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes, thank you. Actually started from a friend. He was like, don't be petty, because I am kind of a little petty when it comes to my friends. He's like, don't be petty. He's like, you're gonna be the Petty Vetty. And so I was like, I like that. So it actually works. So it's called Petty Vetty Incorporated Mobile Services. The business is not up and running just yet, but it will be up and running within the next few months. So I'm working on the website. I already have my Instagram. So if you guys want to go on my Instagram page, it's pettyvetty.inc. Also, we're going to get a Facebook page and everything, business cards. So it's basically going to be a in-home vet service that just comes to your house. So that way you don't have to go to the vet's office. You don't have to take Fluffy and stuff him in a bag and ride the train and, you know, stress Fluffy out. I can come to you. And I can do your exams, shots, vaccinations. If you're traveling, you need a certificate, I can do that, international and domestic. So basic in-home services, obviously.
Wait, pets need vaccines when they travel as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Rabies is a big one.
I didn't know that.
Yes. There are some countries that are like rabies-free. Hawaii is actually a state that's rabies-free. Jamaica is rabies-free. So if you're traveling...
No.
There you go.
Big ups to my people.
Exactly. Represent. But yeah, if you go into like a rabies-free country or a country that requires certain vaccines, your pet definitely needs to be up to date. So you need to have that certificate.
Well, Giavanna, this has been really fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your 29 to 30 growth with us.
Thank you.
And I learned some stuff about animals I didn't even know today.
Oh, good. I hope it helped, and I hope it helped other people too who are listening. And for those 29-year-olds who are turning 30, you know, I have advice. It's not bad. It's not that bad. I know you're probably at that point where you're so nervous and you have so much anxiety, and you might be like me too. You have this bucket list of things you got to get done before you turn 30. And, you know, like I said, it's definitely a whole new chance to get what you want to get done. Don't let anyone pressure you or make you feel that, oh, you know, by 30 you should have all these things done. You're not where you're at, where you want to be at your life. It's okay. You have time. You are still young. 30 is not old. 31, 32, 33 is not old.
Even 35 is not old.
35 is not old. No, maybe 65. Okay, you still have another 30-something years until then. But it's not bad. It's definitely a great experience. And you're as young as you feel. You really are. I'm 30 100%. And I still feel like I'm 19. I still wear my Jordans, you know. But my mentality is different. And it's for the better.
Well, cheers to 30. Yes, I love it.
Cheers
where
to 30.
Where can people reach you?
You can reach me on my Instagram. It's A_real_GI. You can also reach me at my Petty Vetty Instagram as well, pettyvetty.inc. And you can also find me on Facebook, Giavanna Gayman, GIAVANNA, last name GAY, M as in Mary, ON.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you again so much for coming on and sharing tonight. This has been really fun.
I'm honored.
And you guys, please reach out to me and let me know what you think of today's show at Tennesha Wood on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And until next time, wish me love. Hello again, my lovely listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of DRL. If you like the show, be sure to go on iTunes and leave a rating and also write a review. And don't forget to share with your friends and tell them all about DRL. Thank you so much for supporting.